What happens when metals react with acids? So metals plus a dilute acid will give you a salt plus hydrogen gas. Let us take example of sodium. Sodium metal, when it reacts with hydrochloric acid, we get the sodium replaces the hydrogen to give you sodium chloride, which is a salt, and the hydrogen gas. Now the sodium is a solid, the hydrochloric acid is in aqueous form dissolved in water, sodium chloride is also in aqueous form, and this is in gaseous form. And if you want to balance it, here you'll have 2 hydrogens, so you put 2 hydrogens here, 2 sodium chloride and 2. Next, even magnesium, when it reacts with hydrochloric acid, it will replace the hydrogen from the hydrochloric acid and form magnesium chloride plus hydrogen. Again, solid form, this is aqueous, this too is in aqueous form dissolved in water, and this is hydrogen. Now this reaction of magnesium with hydrochloric acid is not so violent, but the one with sodium with hydrochloric acid is a very violent reaction. So this is magnesium chloride and hydrochloric acid. Next, let us see aluminium. Aluminium with hydrochloric acid, you get aluminium chloride, which is the salt, plus the hydrogen gas. Aluminium is a solid, hydrochloric acid is aqueous form, aluminium chloride is also in aqueous form, and hydrogen is in gaseous form. Now when you want to balance it, you will have to make this will be 6 here, 2, this will be 3, and here will be 2. The salt is aluminium chloride. This reaction in the beginning is a little slow and then it becomes faster. The reason is the aluminium has always a coating of aluminium oxide. So when you react it with an acid, first the acid reacts with this outer coating and slowly the outer coating is removed, and that's when the reaction is slow. So once the entire coating of aluminium oxide is removed, then it reacts very quickly with HCl to give aluminium chloride plus hydrogen. So remember, this aluminium within first reacts very slowly and then the reaction increases its speed. Aluminium at first reacts slowly with the acid due to the presence of the protective layer of aluminium oxide. It gets dissolved in the acid, then the fresh aluminium is exposed and the reaction now becomes faster. Zinc 2 reacts with hydrochloric acid to give you zinc chloride plus hydrogen gas. So this is here solid, here we have aqueous, and then we want to balance it. You will have 2 HCl and it's balanced. We have here zinc chloride. This reaction is a little slower than aluminium, so we can say that aluminium is more reactive than zinc. Then iron 2 reacts with hydrochloric acid but rather slowly to give you FeCl2 plus hydrogen. This is iron 2 chloride. Remember, iron has got 2 valencies, one is 2 and one is 3. Iron chloride, and we need to balance it now. We have 2 HCl. This is an aqueous, this is solid form, aqueous, and this is gaseous form. Now when it comes to copper, copper with hydrochloric acid, no reaction, which means copper cannot displace the hydrogen. It's unable to displace the hydrogen because it is less active. So copper less reactive than hydrogen. Hence, copper does not react with any acid. Silver and gold do not react with acids at all. So they are all less reactive than hydrogen. They are unable to displace the hydrogen from the acid. This is a reaction of sodium with sulfuric acid to give you sodium sulfate and hydrogen. Magnesium with sulfuric acid gives you magnesium sulfate. And it's a balanced reaction. Aluminium with sulfuric acid gives you aluminium sulfate. Zinc with sulfuric acid gives you zinc sulfate. And the last is copper with sulfuric acid. There is no reaction. When metals react with nitric acid, there is something different that happens. So we have metals with nitric acid. Normally you will expect a salt plus hydrogen. Now nitric acid is an oxidizing agent. Oxidizing agent means it gives out oxygen. So this hydrogen picks up the oxygen from the nitric acid and then becomes water. So when metals react with nitric acid, they give salt, but instead of water, instead of hydrogen, they give water. And this nitric acid then gets converted into oxides of nitrogen. That is like NO2 or N2O or NO. So metals with nitric acid, you will not get hydrogen. Instead, you will get water because the hydrogen gets oxidized to water. However, there are exceptions to this. Magnesium and manganese, when they react with dilute nitric acid, you do get hydrogen, plus of course a salt. That's only two metals, that is magnesium and manganese. So to repeat again, metals react with nitric acid to give salt and water, not hydrogen. And the reason is nitric acid is a strong oxidizing agent. Oxidizing agent means it gives out oxygen. So it oxidizes the hydrogen to water. So this hydrogen is then changed to water because of this oxygen that is given out by the nitric acid. But there are only two which don't obey this rule, and that is magnesium and manganese. Magnesium is Mg and manganese Mn. They react with dilute nitric acid to give you hydrogen. Only these two metals give hydrogen with nitric acid.